I was lying there on a road looking up. My map was out to my right, my GPS to my left. I went to reach over to grab my GPS, and that's when I noticed that my arm had been blown open. I could see right down to the bone. That's when I knew it was me that had been hit. I didn't know at this point, but both my legs had been blown off. My right leg had been blown off up to my ankle, and I had just bone from my ankle all the way up to my knee. My left leg was then blown off straight up to my knee, with nothing else below it. And I had to put tourniquets on the tops of my legs. So we get back and we go into the base, and then lads from another platoon pick me up on the back of the stretcher and run me onto the back of a helicopter, which is there waiting for me already. On the back of the helicopter, there's a doctor on the back, and she tells me her name, and I'm like, please just put me to sleep. I'm in so much pain. I'm in so much pain. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna put you to sleep now. Don't worry. And that was it. That was the end of my time in Afghanistan. Fast forward 3 weeks, I wake up in a hospital, QE in Birmingham. I'm there lying there with tubes coming out of my mouth, wires all over my face, wires all over my arm up in a sling. And my dad's sitting at the end of the bed. And my dad looks really emotional. He doesn't really look emotional normally. He's a bit of an old school bloke, doesn't show his emotions, never seen him cry or anything. But I could tell while he was sitting at the end of my bed that he'd been crying. I was like trying to get his attention. Dad, what's happened to me? I couldn't talk, but I had these tubes in my mouth. I was like looking at my arm that was up in a sling, and I was like, I'm okay. He's like, we don't know yet. We don't know what's going to happen with your arm. I was like, okay. I was like, my legs. And he was like, no. I was like, one? He was like, no, both legs. I was like, okay. And then I go back into unconsciousness. Then I wake up in the middle of the night, and tubes that were in my mouth just feel like they were suffocating me. So I start trying to bite them, I need to speak, I need to talk, and I don't feel like I can breathe properly. So I start biting through these tubes, and biting through, and then all these alarms start going off because I bit through the valve and the air's not going into me. And all my vital signs are starting to go down. And then I go back into unconsciousness, and they wake me up that night, and they're like, you're very lucky. You bit through your tube and there's no air going through into your lungs. I was like, okay. I felt really sore all the way down my chest. I had scars on the ends of my lips from where all the tape and pipes had been through me. And that night I was lying there, and there was a nurse at the end of my bed. And I didn't really remember what had happened with my dad at that point. And I was like, okay, so she was talking to me normally, like, how do you feel and things like that. I was like, yeah, can't wait to get out of here. I just want to go and play football with my son. And she's like, you do realise that you've lost both your legs? And my world just fell apart again. And that is the most vivid time that I remember being told that I've lost my legs. So I'm absolutely distraught, crying. She's distraught after telling me, and she's crying. She'd been told that I'd already been told, but she could tell from my reaction that I just couldn't remember it. And that was one of the longest nights that I remember after being injured. She's there sitting with me, comforting me. And it's a really rough night. While I was at Headley Court, I got with my girlfriend at the time, and we'd moved in together. I was at Headley Court, we got a house up in Birmingham. And then as things started getting serious, we got engaged. And when we got engaged, we decided that we'd like to try for a kid because of my injuries. I couldn't have kids naturally, so we had to go to the Birmingham Women's Hospital to have IVF. Now, IVF is one of the most stressful things that you'll ever go through. But we got very lucky the first time, and we had a little boy in 2013 called Alfie. Alfie was our miracle child. We can't have any more. We haven't got any more tries left for IVF, so he's sort of like our world. And in 2017, me and Rachel went off and got married with our close family at Disneyland in Florida. And we had Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and Beauty and the Beast there with us while we got married. And that same year, I went to Toronto, Canada, and took part in the Invictus Games in the wheelchair basketball, where we got a bronze medal. Absolutely brilliant time over there. We had such a laugh, all the different countries coming together. It was just the best atmosphere that you could actually imagine.